Hey guys, welcome back to the Ultimate Goosebumps Man channel, and today I am bringing you guys another episode review from the classic 90s Goosebumps TV show, and the episode in question that I'm reviewing is Let's Get Invisible. Now, yeah, this is my bootleg Blu-ray set. Don't have a physical copy of Let's Get Invisible yet to review or to show off, so I'm just gonna be using this, because there really is no physical Let's Get Invisible copy aside from the Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns DVD. But getting off topic, reviewing Let's Get Invisible's episode. This is one of those really weird episodes, in my opinion, that just does not hold up all that well. A lot of people really tend to like this episode, but I'm really not one of them. And again, much like with the book, the Goose Junkies guys, also, most of us weren't really big fans of the episode. And I can really see why. It's a pretty lackluster episode overall. There's not much going for it. It's very poorly made. It's probably one of the most poorly made episodes of the show, in my opinion. A lot of really messy stuff in this episode. But for starters, before we get into that, let's go over the plot overview of the episode for those who haven't seen it. The episode for Let's Get Invisible is very similar to the book. There's not really that many changes to it. Some of the big changes, like they omit April from the episode, which is fine. Like, I didn't really like April in the book. If you see my book review, you'll know I'm not a big fan of her character, so it wasn't that big of a hardship that they cut her out of the episode. There's also a few minor details that are different, but they're pretty minimal. The same skin of the story is basically the same thing. A kid named Max and his brother Lefty, or Noah. He's more referred to Noah in the episode. In the book, they call him Lefty, but yeah, the episode refers to him more by his real name. So yeah, Max, his brother Noah, Aaron, and Zach. Well, Zach doesn't show up till later, but Max, Noah, and Aaron go up to Max's attic. And the other difference is that this does not take place on Max's birthday like the book does. But they're in the attic just messing around. There's a kind of a fake out scare that the Goosebumps TV show did a lot in the opening scenes with Noah in like a scary mask jumping out of a closet. It's kind of lame, but it is what it is. And basically, they stumble backwards into this fake wall that they break down. And inside there is the secret room, and they discover it with this cool mirror. And this mirror looks very different in the show. It almost has like this almost futuristic design. It's really kind of a bizarre looking mirror, but it worked for the show, and I still think it's a fun design. Not at all what it's like in the book, but again, the show took some cool liberties, and I think the mirror still looks pretty decent. But they basically start messing around with this mirror and realize that when the light turns on, it makes the people under it go invisible. Excuse me. But basically, again, pretty much similar to the book, they start getting invisible for longer and longer and have these contests with it. And essentially, there's just the big reveal, same as the book. There's, again, it's pretty stock standard, pretty much the same as the book with minor changes here and there. But I might as well just get right into the positives and negatives of the episode. I'm probably not going to have as much to say on it because I've already said most of it in the book, and it shares a lot of the same, some of the same sins from the book. But the main thing, so starting with the positives, I will say I think that, again, the mirror looks pretty cool. I like the look of the mirror. There are some cool elements here and there with some of the ideas. I think some of the invisible scenes, while this, effects look really bad because it's, a 90s kids show, I think the invisible scenes are still fun. They still work, in my opinion. I think there's some cool stuff with, like, them coming back from the mirror world, like, covered in, like, snow and icicles and stuff. I think that's a cool little touch. And that's really it. There aren't that many positives with this episode. It's a pretty rough one. Starting off with one of my major negatives, and that is the acting. The acting in this episode is atrocious. Like, and no offense to any of the actors, I know they're kids. Most of the kid actors in this show were not very good. But, like, especially Max's actor, he did not do a good job. Like, he has no emotion whatsoever. He is just blank-faced the whole episode. No matter what emotion he's supposed to be feeling, he has the same expressionless face on. and it's laughable. How it's just really funny at sometimes, especially in the climax scene. Just the lack of emotiveness is just, again, it's kind of funny at times. And there's also Zach. Zach's actor is one of the worst actors in this whole show. Again, if you're watching this, I doubt you are, but if you're watching this, I'm sorry. This is nothing against you as a person, but yeah, his acting was not very good. Just like there's this whole scene of him when they first discover the mirror, and they're like telling him like, oh, this is the most amazing thing in the whole universe. And, you know, he doesn't believe him at first. And then it just jump cuts to him watching them throw a ball back and forth. And just, like, the most deadpan, like, tone. He says, that's the most amazing thing in the entire universe. And it's hilarious. It really is. Like, his delivery of that line, it's awful, but it's really funny at the same time. And it made me laugh out loud when I first saw it. You know, and of course when they turn in evil, I'll just say when they turn evil, the acting again isn't very good. I think Erin's actor is fine. I think she does a decent job with the role, but she's not great. Noah, I guess he's calling the episode. He's okay. Again, not great, but not horrible. Another really weird thing that they did with this episode is there's some really bizarre and pointless shots throughout it. The main one that's kind of infamous with this episode is the shot of Max basically gargling water after either brushing his teeth or doing mouthwash. You literally just see, it literally shows a close-up of his mouth gargling the water, zooms out for a while of him gargling, shows him going down to spit it out. He looks up, stares at the mirror, and you just, like the bathroom mirror, not even the main attic mirror. He's just staring at his reflection in the bathroom mirror for what, like, almost a minute. It's a really drawn out shot that's just so pointless and just doesn't make sense in the episode at all. It didn't need to be there. I don't know why they decided to include it, but it was dumb. And of course, like the most infamous part about this episode that a lot of people would say sucks is the climax. While the climax is fun in the book, in the episode, it's awful. The worst thing about it is just the visual effects. The visual effects of the mirror world suck. And again, 90s kids show, I get it. But they still could have done something better than what they did. It's just like this really cheap green screen effect that looks really weird and just off. There's like the scene of him like running through and just like there's this like floating pictures of these people screaming and doors and all this stuff, and just the way that shot is so bad. Like, it's very obvious this kid is just literally running in place while all these like bad CG effects fly at him, and it's just like, it's really cringy to watch, but laughably so. Again, like, that's the thing about this episode. It's bad, but you can still laugh at how bad it is. It's not eye-rollingly bad like some other episodes can be, and it's still not like one of the worst episodes of the show by any means. There are far more atrocious episodes than Let's Get Invisible, but this episode still is not great by the slightest means. And also the twist ending is still good. It's the same twist ending as in the book, but they do it a little differently, and I think it works. I think the twist ending works in the episode. And another really weird thing about the episode is, like, I pointed this out in the Goose Junkies episode, the parents for Max and Noah feel way too old to be their parents. Like, the parents actors were probably like they look like they're in their 50s or 60s maybe, especially the mom. The mom looks like she was probably in her like, yeah, probably like late 50s, early 60s. And like, no, like, that just doesn't feel realistic to be parents of kids who are like probably 10 and 13. Like, that just seems a little old to, you know, have kids that young. And again, like, no offense to that, I know there are parents who are that age, but especially in Goosebumps, they just felt very out of place, because in most episodes, the parents are more of an accurate age to what they would probably be if they had kids at the age that the characters in Goosebumps are. Minor nitpick, it's a little weird thing that I just noticed, but it's there. Overall, this episode, again, it's very mediocre. It's not horrible by any means, despite what I've said and how I've really had a lot of glaring negatives. it's not awful. There's still some fun things to be had with it. There's still some enjoyability. I think it's still an episode that you can watch just for like laughing at how bad it is at times. But yeah, I would still say this is not an episode you should skip if you're binging through the whole series, let's say. Don't skip Let's Get Invisible. It's bad, but it's not horrible. I would probably give this episode a solid like 5 out of 10. It's like right in the middle, very average. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say about Let's Get Invisible's episode. So thank you guys so much for watching, and just make sure please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and if you want to see all the new videos I have a playlist for all of my classic Goosebumps book reviews if you want to check those out. I also have a playlist for all my episode reviews, and I have a bunch of other really cool Goosebumps content for you guys to check out. And also be sure, if you haven't checked it out, check out the Goose Junkies podcast that I'm a part of. It's a great time. We have a lot of fun talking about comparing Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark and Haunting Hour. A lot of fun to be had on that podcast if you guys want to check that out. If you're fans of kids horror, definitely recommend checking that out. But I want to thank you guys all for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.